My name is Alyssa Grant, I'm 25, and until very recently I thought my boyfriend, Caleb Monroe, 27, was just a little too sensitive about social media. Not dramatic, not controlling, just someone who cared too much about Instagram validation. Annoying, sure. But never dangerous. But then he humiliated me in front of dozens of people, twisted the situation to make himself the victim, and managed to embarrass both of us at once, all because I didn't post him on my story for one weekend. And the worst part? He still insists he did nothing wrong. Caleb and I had been together for almost a year. We lived separately, him in a house with 3 roommates in Halston, Colorado, me in a studio apartment near downtown. Things were mostly good. We rarely fought. We had similar humor. And he could be incredibly sweet when he wanted to be. But he had one issue that popped up again and again. He equated Instagram activity with relationship commitment. Not joking. If I posted a picture of myself without tagging him, he'd send a whining DM. If I shared a sunset photo without adding "taken by my amazing boyfriend," he'd sulk. If I posted a photo of a restaurant without geotagging that he drove me there, he acted like I was erasing him. I thought we'd gotten past that stage. I thought he'd grown out of it. I was very wrong. A few months ago, Caleb's best friend, Drew, threw a huge birthday party at his house. Drew is the loud, social, all eyes on me type, so his parties always turn into mini events. People bring drinks, playlists get passed around, games start in one corner, debates break out in another, chaos, but fun chaos. Caleb was excited for this party specifically because, according to him, it was a chance to present us as a power couple. That phrase should have been a red flag. I didn't catch it in time. The day before the party, I posted a cute mirror selfie on my Instagram story, nothing special. Just an outfit I liked, captioned with a heart. Caleb slid into my DMs, yes, he messaged me instead of just texting like a normal boyfriend. "You forgot to mention who you're seeing tomorrow night, winking face." I replied, "It's just a selfie, lol." He responded, "But still, you know? It would have been nice." I ignored it. I was getting ready for work. And honestly, his constant need for credit was exhausting. An hour later, he texted, "You could have at least tagged me." I didn't respond. I should have known that silence would come back to bite me. The next day, we got ready at our own apartments and met at Drew's house. Caleb greeted me with a big hug and a kiss, normal, affectionate. He seemed happy to see me. He handed me a drink. Introduced me to some newer people. Everything felt fine. For the first hour. But slowly, I noticed him checking his phone more than usual. Opening Instagram. Refreshing his notifications. Opening my profile. Refreshing again. I tried not to let it bother me. I didn't want to start a fight at a party. Then, while we were all in the living room playing some ridiculous card game, I took a picture of the group and posted it on my story. A group photo. Not a selfie. Not a couple's pic. Just everyone together. And Caleb wasn't visible in it, not intentionally, he just wasn't in the frame. Within 30 seconds, I saw him pull out his phone, check my story, then look directly at me. Not smiling. Not annoyed. But hurt. Deeply, dramatically hurt. I mouthed, "What?" He shook his head and looked away. I brushed it off as overthinking. I shouldn't have. 20 minutes later, we were in the kitchen grabbing snacks. I was talking to Drew's girlfriend, Hannah, when Caleb stepped beside me. Except he didn't speak to me. He just held his phone toward me with my Instagram story open and said, in a low, tense voice, "You didn't post me." Hannah froze. I blinked. "What?" "You didn't post me," he repeated, louder this time. I laughed nervously. "Caleb, it's a group picture." He shook his head. "You've been posting all week. You posted last night. You posted just now. But not me." Not once. I felt the embarrassment rising in my chest. Can we talk about this later? I whispered. No, he said. Why didn't you post me? Hannah slowly backed away. The room got quieter. Caleb kept going. You don't want people to know we're together? Is that it? Are you embarrassed of me? He held his arms out dramatically. Just say it. I stared at him, horrified. Caleb, I whispered, stop. He didn't. Oh, so now you want to be quiet, he said loudly. Now you don't want attention? I felt heat crawling up my neck. People were watching. He stepped closer. You know what? Maybe I should post something. How about that? Maybe I should post that my girlfriend won't acknowledge me. I wanted to sink into the floor. I grabbed his arm lightly. Please, let's talk outside. He yanked his arm away. I don't want to go outside. I want to know why you don't want anyone to know we're dating. Someone in the living room muttered, Bro, chill. He whipped around, shouting, Mind your business. I closed my eyes. This was not happening. Not over Instagram. Not over a story. But it was happening. And everyone saw. And Caleb was just getting started. Caleb stormed out of the kitchen and back into the living room like he wanted an audience for whatever performance he was gearing up for. People parted out of instinct, sensing tension before he even opened his mouth. I followed a few steps behind, praying he wouldn't make it worse. He absolutely made it worse. He planted himself in the center of the room and announced loudly, just so everyone knows, my girlfriend refuses to post me. Apparently, she's single online. A few people laughed awkwardly, thinking he was joking. He wasn't. I felt my face burn. Caleb, stop. He turned to me with this exaggerated, mocking expression. Oh, so now you want to talk? Now you care? I took a deep breath. This is not the place. This is exactly the place, he snapped. Since you don't want to show me off on Instagram, maybe I should tell everyone here what you're really like. My heart dropped. Drew stood up from the couch, his beer halfway to his lips. Dude. What are you doing? Caleb ignored him. He kept staring at me like he was daring me to fight back. I tried to stay calm. Please, stop. We can talk about this privately. No. I'm done talking privately. His voice cracked a little, fueled by alcohol and humiliation. You ignore my messages. You post everything except me. Even when we're together. But then you pretend everything is fine. Because it was fine, I said quietly. Was it? Was it, Alyssa? He spread his arms dramatically again. Because clearly you're hiding something. Someone behind him whispered, What the hell? Hannah came to my side and whispered, Do you want me to take you outside? I shook my head. I wasn't running, not from my own boyfriend. Caleb looked around the room and scoffed. See? She won't even deny it. I stepped forward. Deny what? That you don't want people to know we're together. I blinked at him, stunned. Everyone in this room knows. That's not the point, he yelled. Yes, Drew cut in sharply, it is. Caleb whipped around. Stay out of it, Drew. It's my house, Drew snapped back. You're screaming at your girlfriend over an Instagram story. Get a grip. Caleb's face twisted with anger. You don't get it. Drew stood up straighter. No, you don't. Caleb laughed bitterly. Right. Of course. Everyone's against me. No one understands what I go through. Hannah mumbled, what he goes through. Caleb spun toward me again. You know what hurts the most? I saw you post your coffee this morning. But not me. Your coffee got more attention than your boyfriend. I actually rubbed my forehead because my brain refused to process how absurd this was. My coffee? I repeated. Yes, he shouted. Your coffee. Someone snorted. Another person whispered, is he serious? Someone else said, this is embarrassing. He heard it. He didn't care. He jabbed a finger toward my phone. Take a picture with me right now. Post it. Let everyone see it. If you actually love me, you'll do it. My jaw dropped. He wasn't asking. He was demanding. Commanding. And suddenly it hit me. He didn't want a relationship. He wanted an audience. I shook my head slowly. I'm not doing that. His eyes widened in disbelief. Wow. You won't even try. He turned to the crowd. See? She won't do it. She won't post me because she's ashamed. I felt my throat tighten. I'm not ashamed of you. Then prove it. No. His voice cracked. Why not? Because, I said quietly, posting you should never be an obligation. He stared at me like I'd just slapped him. Unbelievable, he whispered. You don't get it at all. I stepped forward. No, Caleb. You don't get it. Instagram isn't a relationship. A story is not a commitment. A post isn't proof of love. If you can't feel secure without everyone watching, that's something you need to deal with. The room was silent. Someone murmured, damn, she's right. Caleb's eyes filled with angry tears. He looked around the room like everyone betrayed him personally. This is bullshit, he muttered. You humiliated me. I felt my stomach drop. Humiliated you? I pointed around the room. You screamed at me. In front of everyone. Over a photo I didn't post. You made a scene, accused me of hiding you, and dragged our relationship into a party full of people who had nothing to do with it. He opened his mouth, but Drew cut in. Dude, you embarrassed yourself. Caleb snapped, shut up. No, Drew said firmly. You don't get to yell at your girlfriend and then yell at me. You're drunk and acting like an idiot. Caleb shook his head violently. This is insane. I'm the victim here. I couldn't help it, I laughed. A short, stunned, bitter laugh. The victim? I repeated. Yes, he shouted. Because you don't care how I feel. I closed my eyes. Not because I wanted to cry. But because I had never seen such delusion up close. When I opened them again, I looked straight at him. We need to talk, I said. He nodded aggressively. Yeah, we do. Not here, I said. He scoffed loudly. Oh, now you want privacy. I kept my voice even. Yes. Because you've done enough here. He didn't move. I turned to Drew. Can we use your guest room? He nodded immediately. Go ahead. Caleb stomped down the hall ahead of me like a child forced into timeout. I followed him. Everyone watched us go. The second the door closed behind us, he started again, louder, messier, more emotional, more unhinged. The moment the guest room door shut, Caleb spun around, his chest heaving like he'd been holding in a tantrum the entire walk down the hallway. What is wrong with you? He demanded. His voice was sharp, emotional, way louder than necessary in a small room. I stayed near the door, giving him space. Caleb, you embarrassed both of us. He barked out a laugh. Me? I embarrassed us? You're the one who started this by refusing to post me. My jaw tightened. Caleb, I didn't post anything about you because I don't have to. Instagram is not a requirement in this relationship. It is to me, he snapped. There it was. The truth. Clear, unfiltered, childish. He stepped closer. I need people to know we're together, he said, voice thick with frustration. I need people to see it. To see that I matter to someone. That's not a relationship, I said softly. That's performance. He flinched like I had stabbed him. He started pacing, running his hands through his hair, muttering to himself. You don't get it, you don't get what it's like, you don't know what I've dealt with. He kept pacing, faster, more frantic. I waited. I'd learned long ago that when someone starts spiraling like that, interrupting only makes them escalate. He finally stopped and turned toward me with this bitter, shaky sigh. You don't know how it feels to always be second. To never be someone's first choice. To never be shown off. I blinked. Caleb, that's not what's happening here. Yes, it is, he yelled. You post everything but me. Food. Coffee. Sunsets. Your outfits. Your stupid cat. But never me. My cat is not competition, I said quietly. You don't get it, he yelled again. Then explain it, I said calmly. Because all I see is you throwing a tantrum over a picture. He stared at me like he wanted to scream. Then something in him snapped. He grabbed a pillow from the bed and hurled it against the wall. Not a hard object. Not violent toward me. But loud. Explosive. Immature. Why do you always make me the bad guy? He shouted. I just wanted something simple. Just one picture. One post. One. I took a slow breath. You didn't ask for one picture, Caleb. You demanded I prove my love publicly. And when I didn't, you attacked my character in front of a room full of people. I wouldn't have had to, he said through clenched teeth, if you didn't make me feel unwanted. I didn't make you feel anything, I said. Your insecurity did. That set him off again. Oh, so now I'm insecure, he snapped. That's cute. Real cute. You're calling me insecure because you refuse to show me off. That's not why, I said. You're insecure because you rely on strangers' validation to feel good about our relationship. He shook his head violently. No. I'm insecure because I was never enough for anyone. My exes never posted me either. My family never paid attention to me growing up. Everything I did was invisible. I sighed. There it was, the emotional blackmail he used whenever he wanted to manipulate a situation. I'm sorry you went through that, I said gently. I am. Truly. But your childhood wounds are not my responsibility to heal. And they don't give you the right to treat me like a prop. He glared at me. A prop, he repeated, his voice trembling. That's what you think of me? A prop? I frowned. Caleb, you're twisting my words. I said you're treating yourself like a prop by needing Instagram to validate us. I need Instagram, he said fiercely, because you won't. Because you won't show me off. Because you don't care about me like I care about you. That's not true, I said. Yes, it is. He stepped toward me again. You're cold. You're distant. You never say nice things about me online. How am I supposed to feel loved if no one sees it? Loved, I repeated softly. Caleb, love isn't something you do for an audience. Yes, it is, he yelled. If people don't see it, it's not real. I stared at him, stunned. He wasn't being dramatic. He truly believed that. Before I could respond, he grabbed a framed picture on the dresser, a random photo of Drew and his girlfriend Hannah, and threw it against the wall. The frame cracked. A sharp, ugly sound. I flinched. Caleb immediately grabbed his head in both hands. Shit. Damn it, why did I do that? He dropped onto the bed, breathing hard, chest rising and falling like he'd sprinted a mile. I stayed by the door. Caleb, I said quietly, this isn't healthy. He didn't look at me. Just stared at the floor. I just want to feel important, he whispered. You are important, I said. But I can't make you feel that. Not through a phone. Not through a story. Not through an app. He shook his head. It's not fair, he said. I try so hard. And you never meet me halfway. I'd meet you halfway, I said. But halfway does not mean surrendering my autonomy or curating my online presence to protect your ego. Caleb laughed bitterly. Whatever. You don't understand love. I understand that this. I gestured around the room, the broken frame, the tension, his shaking hands. Is not love. He looked devastated. Then angry. Then devastated again. You're breaking up with me, he said flatly. No, I said. I'm telling you we need help. We need boundaries. We need communication that doesn't involve public meltdowns. He shook his head. No. You're leaving. I didn't say that. You didn't have to. He stood up slowly, eyes red, breathing uneven. You're done with me. I opened my mouth to respond. But the guest room door suddenly cracked open. Drew stood there, tense. Is everything okay in here? Caleb scoffed loudly. Oh great, now everyone's checking on us. Drew glared at him. You broke my picture frame. Caleb shrugged. Sorry. It was not an apology. Drew turned to me. Do you want to come out? Or do you need more time? I nodded. I'm ready. Caleb looked at me, eyes wide with panic. Alyssa, please, don't leave. Don't walk out on me. Not like this. I'm not walking out, I said. I'm just stepping away so we can both calm down. He reached out like he wanted to grab my hand, but I stepped back. That hurt him more than any words could have. Alyssa, he whispered, voice cracking, please. I didn't answer. I walked out of the room. And Caleb's entire expression shattered into something I'd never seen before, desperate, panicked, almost feral. But I kept walking. Because if I stayed in that room, something far worse would have happened. When I stepped out of the guest room, the noise of the party hit me first, music still playing, people talking in hushed tones, the clink of cups. But something had shifted. The energy was tense now, fragile, because everyone had heard enough to know things were bad. Drew stayed beside me as I walked into the hallway. You okay? He asked quietly. I nodded, though my stomach was still tight. Yeah. I just need a minute. He hesitated. If you want to leave, I can walk you out. I'll be fine, I said. I just need air. I went toward the kitchen, poured myself a glass of water, and took a long sip. People subtly tried not to stare, but their eyes flicked toward me anyway, sympathetic, awkward, cautious. Then Caleb came out of the guest room. You could feel the shift immediately. He looked wrecked. Eyes red, jaw clenched, shoulders tense. Not calm, not composed, angry sad, the worst combination. His gaze locked on me instantly. He walked toward me with this distressed urgency, like he thought he could fix everything if he just got close enough. Alyssa, he said, voice trembling, don't do this. Please. I took a small step back. Caleb saw it. And broke. You're really leaving me, he said. Not a question, an accusation. I didn't say that, I replied. I said I needed space. He shook his head violently. No. No. That's what people say before they leave. I know what this is. His breathing quickened. People were watching again. Drew stepped forward. Caleb, take a breath. Caleb snapped, stay out of this. Hannah muttered under her breath, here we go again. Caleb turned back to me, eyes wide with panic. You don't understand, he said. I need you. I need you to care about me more than you care about a stupid picture. That's not what this is, I said gently. This is about boundaries. About respect. About you screaming at me in front of a room full of people. I wouldn't have screamed, he shot back, if you had just posted me. Someone from behind him groaned, dude. Caleb ignored them. He came closer, voice cracking. Why can't you just do this one thing? why is it so hard? Why can't you show people you love me? Because love isn't a broadcast, I said. It's not something you perform on a screen. Yes it is, he shouted, louder than before. Because if you won't post me, you don't love me. The room fell silent. I stared at him, stunned. He kept going, spiraling deeper. You should want to show me off. You should want people to know I'm with you. But you don't. You want them to think you're single. You want attention from other guys. My head jerked back. That's not true. It is, he yelled. Admit it. You don't care about me. You never did. I felt something in me collapse, not from guilt, but from exhaustion. I set my water down, crossed my arms, and said quietly, Caleb, this is not love. This is insecurity dressed as control. He stopped. Just froze. Like the words physically stunned him. Then he whispered, barely audible, you don't mean that. I do, I said. I can't be responsible for your self-worth. And you're asking me to fill a void I cannot fill. His face crumpled. No, he said. No, no, no. He paced in a rapid circle, gripping his hair, muttering to himself. Then he suddenly shouted. I can't believe you're doing this to me. The shout startled several people. Someone flinched. Caleb wasn't done. You humiliated me tonight, he said, pointing at me. You let everyone think I'm crazy. You made me look like a fool. Drew stepped in immediately. Caleb, that's enough. Caleb shoved his hand away. Don't touch me. His chest was heaving, his voice unstable. I should have known, he said bitterly. You're just like everyone else. You pretend to care until it matters. I stared at him, quiet, but resolute. He tried one last time, softening his voice, dropping his shoulders, looking vulnerable. Alyssa, he whispered, please don't throw us away. I know I messed up. But I love you. I love you so much. You're everything to me. A month ago, those words would have broken me. Tonight, they felt like chains he was trying to wrap around me. I shook my head gently. I'm going home. He stepped forward quickly. No. No, please, don't leave like this. We can fix it. I'll delete my Instagram. I'll stop asking you to post. I'll do anything. I picked up my jacket from the chair. I'm not leaving the relationship tonight, I said softly. I'm leaving the party. Because we both need to calm down. You don't mean that, he whispered again, desperate. I met his eyes. I do. He looked like he might collapse. Drew moved closer, ready to intervene if needed. And then something in Caleb snapped, but not loud this time. Quiet. Defeated. He stepped back, wiped his face, and whispered. Fine. Leave. Everyone else does. I closed my eyes for a moment, then walked past him. Nobody said a word as I reached the door. When I stepped outside into the cool night air, my chest finally expanded. Like I hadn't taken a full breath in hours. Behind me, the noise of the party resumed, muted through the walls. Somewhere inside, Caleb was unraveling, blaming everyone but himself, refusing to look inward for even a second. But I didn't go back. I didn't comfort him. I didn't try to fix him. Because I finally understood. He didn't want a girlfriend. He wanted a mirror, one that reflected only him, his needs, his insecurities. And that was something I could never be. I walked to my car, keys in hand, breath steadying with each step. Maybe we would talk later. Maybe we wouldn't. But one thing was certain. Love isn't measured in posts, tags, or stories. And no amount of public validation can fix a relationship that's falling apart in private.